Hey, so today we are starting another Robi robot stage. Hopefully we can get 2 done. It should be possible because one is just doing the servo, setting the servo. This is pack 6. So pack 6 in my binder. Pack 6 is stages 19, 20, 21, and 22. So we will start with stage 19. I'm going to sit down here, take my phone. The phone doesn't need to be in here. Wait a second. Getting set down on the floor. Sitting on the floor. Anyway, so we got Robi here who isn't finished. Robi Jr. Mini Robi. I think he's there. Yeah, he's there. Mini. Very, very tiny. Okay. And I'm going to be getting another Robi that was relatively inexpensive. When I finally get him, I will show him in a video and he'll just join the others there. He also only speaks Japanese like Robi Jr., which I still haven't set up because of fear that I will do it wrong, and you can only set them up once. Alright, stage 19. Hey Jibo, set a 25-minute timer.
Okay, 25 minutes.
Thank you. So here's the servo. I'll also have the next stage's stuff in case we make it that far. And there's my Ferdi cat who wants to get in the way. Come down here, Ferdi. Yeah, that plastic's a little better than some of them that you've done. Okay, stage 19. Set the ID number of Robi's left upper arm servo. In this stage, you'll set the ID number of the servo that will act as Robi's shoulder joint, moving his left upper arm up and down before fitting the part onto the left forearm frame ready for use. And, you know, cats like simple toys, so that's a toy now. The plastic contain the servo. So the work in this assembly will be similar to that of stage 16 when you wired and set the ID number of the servo that will move Robi's left forearm. Even so, make sure you follow the assembly steps closely, as it can be difficult for the electronic parts such as the servo cable, even damaging, to reopen the assembly should you need to go back and perform the steps again. Similarly, when setting the servo's ID, be absolutely sure you chose the correct number, as Robi may not work properly if the part is set to the wrong number when operated. So the only parts in this stage is the servo. The previously saved parts would be this, which is the left arm. This one is the right arm. And so I just have that. And then the thumb, like I mentioned before, on the right one fell off. So eventually I'm going to have to glue it because this one didn't do that. Okay, so this part I need Robi, and I need the cable, you know, that I had for the servo cable. Connecting the servo cable. Unscrew. Use a screwdriver to unscrew the 4 screws securing the cover of the servo and take each one out. Carefully lift the cover away from the other side of the servo. Try to avoid touching the circuit board or electronic components when you remove the cover from the servo. Take either end of the connector cable saved from the previous stage and carefully fit it into one of the 2 sockets circled in red. It does not matter which one. Gently push it in until it locks in place. So there, basically, just to see it. Seeing is believing. And then you put the cover back on and fit the cover, and then turn the servo over and insert 2 of the screws that you removed. Usually the 2 diagonal screws. So these are my new glasses. They're backup glasses. So I've got another pair coming, but that pair didn't arrive yet because it had more things like Crizal, like anti-scratch on it. Because I wanted my prior pair I paid a lot of money for. The ones I used to be wearing, paid a lot of money for those, and they scratched. And so this Crizal covering, it's a different eye doctor I went to this time. It's Eye Care Central in Houston. Very nice people. My glasses cost like half what they did at Pearl Vision. I think it was Pearl Vision on Kirby. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, so they scratched, and I had this blue anti-reflective, which came off. And anyway, there was no coverage on them, and these at least have a year coverage if I scratch them, because if I scratch them during that time, not these, but the pair that I haven't gotten yet, they got to give me a whole new pair. So it's a good deal, and they were half the price. Okay, the board didn't come up like the other time I opened the prior servo. The board came up partially. This one was better. Okay, so we'll put this in this one. Look it into place. Put the cover back on. Thread it through which one? So yeah, we thread it through that. If I could thread it, looks like the little thing wanted to come off. The little pad. Okay. And with Ferdi around, lots of hair is everywhere. Like even things that didn't have them before. He's definitely got a lot of hair. Okay, but he's super cute, so he actually isn't shedding that badly for what I would expect. I would have thought it would have been even worse. So at least he's not shedding that much. Put these two back. And like previous ones, I'm going to put a link for this screwdriver. This is not the one that came with Robi Robot. That one got stripped. The screwdriver itself did. And so I'm using these ones that I got from Amazon. It was a much bigger toolkit than this, but these work. These make the stages way faster because I'm not struggling to get the tool driver to work. The screwdriver to work. Okay, we got that together. Testing the servo, take the next stand and unplug the black servo cable from the socket on the left of the test board. Plug this one into it. Turn the test board to on. All the LEDs should blink twice. Then turn off to leave only one lit. Press the test set switch to briefly test it. This servo should have this thing, which is a D cut. Move one way and then the other way and then back. So basically 45 degrees to the left, stop, 45 degrees to the right. And then you shut it off, and then they tell you to refamiliarize yourself with the board. I've seen the board so many times now, I'm very familiar with the board. It's got basically 1 through 9 and then a 10 and a 20. So this is what it looks like. I'm very familiar with this board at this point. And I always have this unplugged, this one. So this one's not plugged in. So we're going to plug it in to the connector part here. And then we're going to turn it on. Oh, I forgot, on is this. Familiar with the board, but forgot about needing to do that. Okay, so that is on. And so then I'm going to do set test and make sure that this rotates, which you won't be able to see, but I will. Shouldn't that do that? I'm not seeing that happen. It's not moving, basically. is plugged in. So that's unfortunate. It's not doing anything. So I'm gonna have to take the screws off and see what's happening. Did it come out? There we go. Maybe it was out. Let me try this again, because if this servo is bad, that's not good. Oh, there we go. It wasn't tight enough, so it had come off slightly. So that's a problem. Sometimes these don't click. They click into place, but they slightly wiggle out. So it's working now. So yeah, it's working now. That's why you got to be super careful with them. It's very concerning sometimes. Nope, buddy. Ferdi, nope, nope, nope. Hey, no, no. Ferdi, no. No, you can't have the screws. Screws are not toys. Ferdi, get down, come on. Nope. Screwdriver, screws, not toys, not cat toys. Everything is not a cat toy, Ferdi. Okay, now we go to the next part. The servo that will remove Robi's upper arm is ID 20, so set the ID number to 20. Press the up button 19 times. The 20 LED alone should remain lit once you've done this. Complete the setting by holding the test set button down. Ferdi, quit it. Go, 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 buddy, go. Okay, holding the test set button down. Hey, no, I told you no. Yeah, he's a new cat. He's only a year and a half, so he thinks everything's a toy. He thinks everything's exciting and everything's a toy. Okay, so you hold the test set button down for a few seconds. The 20 should flash and confirm the ID number. Hey now, hey now, hey now. And then check it by leaving it connected. Switch the power off and back on, which you'll get the one LED light. Then you'll press test set, and then the 20 should light up. Once all is well, switch the power back off and carefully unplug the servo from the test board, because it'll remain its setting at that point. So we're going to go ahead and do this, do the up one. And I don't even count it, I just wait until I see the 20 lit, because there's no point. Okay, so we got the 20 lit, the 20 is lit. So we're going to do test set until it blinks. Come on, go down, go down, go down. Ferdi, go down. Yeah. Making sure he didn't knock the screws off. I'm going to need those screws. Okay, so it's lit. We're going to shut it off. Then we turn it back on. It will show the 1. And then if you push test set, it switches to the 20. So it is properly set. So we're going to shut it back off again. Well, I want to make sure it's still rotating. I do test set. And it is. Okay. So we're going to shut it off and disconnect it, because we don't want it to have any problems, you know. I actually am going to put this one back on, which has lost its pad, apparently. Hey now, he might try to chew on it, so that's not good. Okay. Apparently this one's lost its pad. It's the one that I had used to use. That's okay, I guess. I don't know. I'll worry about it later. I'll worry about it later. Not while I'm doing the video. And then the thumb comes off again. Alright, hey Jibo, how long on the timer?
It'll go off in 12 minutes and 23 seconds.
Okay, so we're doing okay for time. So now it is going to say, remove the 2 screws fitted temporarily in step 5 and discard the cover. Line up the servo with the left upper arm frame. The servo cable will fit through the circular hole at the top of the frame as shown. Ferdi, quit it, buddy. Holding the servo in position with its cable sitting in the upper arm frame hole. Carefully attach the free cable leading from the forearm servo to the unused connector socket on it. This can be a bit fiddly, so take care and be gentle as you do this. Okay, so it's this that it's showing. Ferdi, would you move? Move. Get off. Get down. Go find something else to do. Go find something else to do. Okay, we put Robi back over here. The stuff we don't need. So we've got to take the cover off. We'll still need the screws though, but take the cover off. Oh, it's a long journey. Screws. Getting a little bit of pain. So this is the cover that we're taking off. And this time the board did come up slightly. So that's concerning. It says not to touch it, but it's hard not to touch it when it's like actually elevating itself. Okay, so let's see where on the frame we need to put it. Okay, it looks like through the back. Through the back. So there we go. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna put this one. Let's see here. Yeah, that's the way it's showing it. And then it says making absolutely certain that it's not caught. So I basically need to get this one. There's a servo that was here. We're putting that in as well. I think this is one of those that's like, it's really difficult to do. Really difficult. Like it's, so maybe we're not doing so okay on time. Okay, so they're both in. Okay. Now it looks like I need to do it this way. Okay. Yeah, it's that way. Ferdi, get down. Get down. So this cover I don't need, so if he wants to play with something, I'm actually going to throw this to him so that he gets interested in this and leaves me alone. Just for a minute. Okay, making sure that neither of the servo cables caught between the servo body and the upper arm frame, and each connector is securely and safely attached to its connector. Join the servo to the arm frame as shown. It should sit flush to the frame. Using the 4 long screws previously removed, fasten the servo to the upper arm again, making absolutely sure neither of the cables is caught in the gap between the parts. And it just basically shows 2 small rubs molded the inside of the upper arm frame. These should be avoided when laying the servo cables inside the assembly to prevent the risk of their getting pinched by them when you close the parts. Laying it simply should prevent this happening, and then this will complete the left arm assembly ready to be joined to its body. Tip, by now you should have accumulated a number of components, spare screws, and sub-assemblies in progressive stages of completion. It will be useful to store these in an orderly manner, and for this a compartmentalized tool or hobby box would be ideal, like the one shown above. So they're showing some box they're telling me I should get, but I'm not going to do that. I got a drawer. The drawer works well. So the drawer works well. Let me look at this again because I did have it securely attached, or I thought I did. Looks like it's okay. I'm hoping anyway. It looks right to me. So I'm gonna start putting the screws in. Only can get him excited for so long with that. Now he's back to wanting my attention. He's over there looking at me. Ferdi. He's Curly Ferdi and Purdy Ferdi and all sorts of cute little names. Alyssa's in the bedroom because she doesn't like Ferdi. She wants alone time. So she's in her room. Not certain why this is not. There we go. Now it's clicked into place. No, Ferdi, there's nothing for you. Save time with the screwdriver. Add in the new cat. Take more time. Okay, there we go. Looks good. Looks good. Alrighty. So that is, assembly is complete. So now we got stage 20, which we're going to start on but might not finish. So there's stage 20. Stage 20, adding Robi's left shoulder joint. In this assembly, will fit the left upper arm build over the previous stages to its shoulder frame, mirroring the work you did for the right shoulder in stage 12. By the end of the stage, Robi's left arm will be complete and ready to be attached to his body at the shoulder over future stages. Once Robi's arm is prepared, you will add protective pads to the connectors of another of his servo cables, so even care must be taken when handling these electronic parts, like always. Though this work in this stage is very similar to that of stage 12, still be absolutely sure to follow the instructions closely, as it will be difficult to go back and change the completed assembly later. So the parts are going to be the shoulder frame, the shoulder panel, the shoulder joint, a servo cable, and countersunk screws. I do need the pads from the prior stage, which I'll go and get when we reach that point. If we reach that point in this video before... So this is that stage 20. I'm going to open it up and try to watch and make sure Ferdi doesn't knock anything over, because he's really excited about this stage, aren't you, buddy? Got a lot of little cute little stuff coming out. Put that down. This is the cable. I'm not going to pull it out until, hopefully, if there were any screws required, they've got the screws and they didn't not give me the screws again, because that's going to be a problem. And this time I forgot to check if the screws were here. Oh, there they are. Good deal. So there's the screws. Okay, it looks like it's just 3 screws, so the little bitty screws are there. He doesn't know that I'm not going to let him play with these other smaller pieces of plastic, because those, I don't want him, normally I use that thing to open them. I'm not paying attention and being a little bit like I shouldn't do, which is using my teeth to open them. Sorry about that. I'm not paying attention. It's safer to use the screwdriver to open, which I will for the nails. Safer and more sanitary. Okay. So there we go. There's the parts. I'm in fear of the screws not being included in one of these again, because of the one stage that they didn't have the screws. I couldn't do it. I had to order screws online, and I still haven't contacted them to tell them about the screws missing. Okay, so part 1 is this part. No, wait a second. It's this part. The shoulder frame. This is the shoulder panel. This is the shoulder joint. And then the servo cable is here. Okay, so feed the servo cable coming out of the upper arm frame through the hole in the shoulder joint. It doesn't matter which way around the joint is positioned. Run the shoulder joint along the cable and fitted circular hole around the raised opening of the upper arm frame. Holding the parts in place as shown, feed the tip of the servo cable over and through the indicator hole. Hey, now! He somehow realized I had plastic under my under my leg and came over to try to get it out from under my leg. Holding the parts displaced as shown, feed the tip of the servo cable over and through the indicated hole in the shoulder joint. Keep holding the parts together with your finger and thumb, then pull the cable gently so that it is taut. Okay, and then I add the shoulder frame. So let me just get that part done first. So that's this section. The first 6 pictures. So this is the part that they want me to take. They want me to do this. And then this. And then the pad is coming off. So there we go. Let me get the pad back on properly, because we're going to need the pad. The pad makes it possible to know which side you need to put the put it in. Okay. Feed the servo cable through the indicated hole in the shoulder frame, orientated as shown above, and bring the parts together. Join the parts by placing the D-cut hole in the frame over the corresponding servo shaft. See the close-up section on the next page for more information. I already know about this, the D-cut stuff. I've talked about it on multiple videos. I'm not going to talk about it at length again. So it looks like it's going to be like this, right? It's got to be like this. It goes up through. Yeah.
Well, here we are. The end of your timer.
Okay. Thank you, Jibo. Hey, Jibo, stop the timer. Okay, so we're not going to make it to the end, and I think I'm going to just do it anyway, because it's at least this part. Okay, so join the parts by placing them together, like I said. The D-cut thing is on the next page, where they talk about D-cuts, that, you know, the rotation and all that type of stuff. I've talked about this numerous times. I don't want to let this apart, so we'll hold it like with the one hand. You can see the information. So I'm just going to continue to at least get this part. Once you have the parts aligned as they should be, press them together tightly. Be absolutely sure the parts are sitting correctly, as joining them when off-center will damage them. To prevent the servo cable slipping out of position, pull it again gently so that it's taut. Place the shoulder panel over the shoulder joint. Keep the circled screw holes aligned. The red line in the right photo shows the groove in the shoulder panel that will take in the servo cable, while the curved line indicates the area that will accommodate the servo's raised cable hole. Once in place, secure the parts using 2 of the screws. These are 7mm M2 screws, countersunk. Sealing the servo cable. As you have done previously, apply a protective pad to the side of the servo cable. So the servo cable is just putting the pads on, which I'm just going to do at the beginning of the next video. We're just going to finish this one. That way we've got this done, and then we can just start next week with the servo cable. That's relatively simple one. Relatively simple one. I think I've got it in the holes. My nose is starting to, I hope I'm not getting sick. It's getting a little bit like I'm gonna sneeze or something. Okay, so making sure that that's taut. Gotta be very careful though when they talk about that's like pulling on the cable, because we don't want it to disconnect. Going back in and having to reconnect it, I would have to unassemble a lot of parts. So that would not be good. One of the times I had that happen and I had to unassemble a part and for Robi, and it's just not fun for sure. Okay. There we go. We got the arm together. We have one extra screw. Usually they always give an extra screw. The servo cable I'm going to keep in the plastic, and then for next week I will put the pad on right at the beginning of that stage, which will just be another servo stage. And then we've got 2 more, and then we've got stage 7. All right, have a good one. Happy holidays. Enjoy the beginning of 2020. As Farmer Walter says, you know, this is 2020. I kind of wish they would have picked her to do the ball drop. I don't think that they did for New York City. That would have been pretty cool. All right, have a good one. From me, Ferdi, and Alista, and all the robots.